I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dan. Welcome to the Wine and Serious Business Show. Thanks for watching episode number 2. Today we're talking about wines near and dear to my heart. German Rieslings. We've got 3 here. This should be really fun to taste. Something I've been fond of. Actually, one of the wines that got me into drinking wine to begin with was a Spatlese from the Mosel Ruhr. Just a brilliant region. They've been making wine for forever. It was brought there by the Romans, and they do with Riesling just magical things. People talk about like Pinot Noir being kind of like the king of delicacy and subtlety. In red wines, Riesling's much the same way. It takes on a lot of the terroir, which is the characteristics of the soil and the earth around it, and can vary so widely from where it's produced.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I love Riesling. It's delicious, but he's the expert on it. So I leave it to him. Anything that Dan purchases, I usually pick up as well. So yeah. So what are we drinking today?
Well, so while I've been into German Rieslings and I'm constantly exploring them, I'm also kind of on a mission to find some good American Rieslings, because once you become a fan of the Germans, you get kind of a taste for a certain type of style, and it's big to me to not penalize other wines for not being made the same way. Like, things can still be good even if they're different, right?
But you do.
Right.
You do, though. The Germans do it so well that, I mean, it's the same thing with like New Zealand and Sauvignon Blanc. You drink California, you're like, oh, it doesn't have the oomph that the New Zealand one does. Same thing with German Rieslings for me. If it doesn't have that sort of minerality, that very mineral-driven palate with good petrol flavors and just perfect sweetness and body in the mouth, I really have a hard time enjoying it.
And I give him a hard time all the time for hating on Pinot Noir that isn't from Oregon, too. Things suffer.
Burgundy's expensive. I'm working on that one.
So we're going to start out with an American one first. This is from a place I like to visit as well. This is Penner-Ash. It's a 2007 Willamette Valley Riesling. I believe it was about $18.
So, early on, I mean, it's got great sweetness. It's definitely a pretty floral nose. It definitely doesn't have that sort of crisp acidity that I can even sense. So with German Rieslings, I can sense the acidity. If it's a good German Riesling, I can sense the acidity of the smell. I can sense the minerals, like the very, just very mineral forward on the nose. This is much sweeter and very fruit forward, actually, compared to German stuff. So.
And I'm getting something a little richer, like almost tropical, like maybe like a really rich nectarine, or maybe even leaning in towards a mango a little bit, not quite like full-on powerful mango. Right out of the gate, I really like it. It hits really nice and light right from the start. And the mid palate is a little empty. I'm looking for a little more there, but then there's a great bloom of fruit flavors in the back. It's more towards apples and the tropical fruit we were talking about before, but it's still nice, it's clean, it's well integrated. You're not feeling it?
I'm not feeling it as much. The acidity's a little awkward on the finish. The fruit is a little muddled in the mid palate. It's like, like you said, it was hollow. I completely agree. It does have a good burst of sort of like tropical fruit early on. Well, not really even a burst. It's just kind of like, here's the fruit, and then hollow, and then for me the acidity's not working. I don't know.
You're not feeling it? Okay.
I like it. I mean, it's definitely got acidity, but it could be brighter, I guess, is where I'm going with this. It's a little flat on the finish for me.
Sure, and it certainly doesn't have a lot of interesting things going on as it runs out. And I kind of get what you're saying, where you want a little more integration in the end, but
overall it's good wine.
Yeah.
I mean, I would drink the bottle. It's good stuff. It's just no fireworks, pretty boring. Some standard like sour apple. Definitely sour apple, actually. Now that I've swallowed it, it's kind of sitting here for a little while on my palate. I've bit into a Granny Smith apple. I mean, just a huge bite of it. It's good. I don't know. What do you think? How's it for your palate?
So for my palate, similar to a lot of things we were saying, but I also want to point out that this is one of the best American Rieslings that I've had as I've been exploring them. the acidity is evident. You know, you could ask for more, it could be a little better integrated, but it's totally there. And like he was talking about the Brennan Smith flavor sticking around, it stays. Like the acid persists, which you don't see very much.
And it's true, a lot of American Rieslings kind of fail on the acidity level. They go for sweetness, they go for alcohol content, and they lose out big time. There's no acidity to back up the rest of the fruit. So I'll give that to this. It definitely has decent acidity. It's not, like I said, it's not the sort of bright acidity that I kind of expect from Riesling, but it's good. It's good.
All right. So in the end, probably 88 plus for me, and at 18 bucks, it's pushing the upper end of what I consider reasonable. But given that it's better than other American Rieslings that I've had, I do buy this. So
yeah, it's a little awkward, but I mean, the finish sticks around for a long time. It's good that you brought that up. I'm probably going to go 86 plus, or 80. I'll go 87 points on it. Would I purchase for 18? For my palate, probably not. But it's. I will say it's definitely better than 90% of the American Riesling I've had in my lifetime. And I've had a lot of it because they grow a lot of it here in Oregon. So.
All right, we're going to do this late, I guess, but let's take a second to look at the label. Okay. And on to wine number 2.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna leave it on the table.
Okay.
Leave it on the table.
Leave it on the table. Wine number 2 is
you pronounce it. So I'm horrible at pronouncing German names.
All right.
You'd laugh at me if I tried. So.
And I'm probably not that great either. Again, we're not industry folks, so we don't get instructed on the right way a lot of the time. So my best effort. If any of you watching out there are Germans, could be awkward. But this is the Selbach Oster, Graacher Himmelreich, and that means it's from the village of Graacher. And the Himmelreich is a specific vineyard there, and it means the gates of heaven. And this is the Rieslings Spatlese, which is when it's harvested, roughly determines the level of sweetness. We'll probably go into that in more detail in some future episode. From 2006, Rinch time. This is another wine I've been very fond of. For the price point, probably mid to upper 20s on the shelves.
Already there, buddy.
Yeah, and this blew me away the first time I had it, and I've purchased a fair amount for myself.